Before we get into all these stories, for someone to go from where you were at to now having this great success story that you have, maybe walk us through how the whole thing happened. How did you go from, wanting to become a lawyer to a law firm to where you have today?
Well, it started when I was a sophomore in college. I got a phone call from my dad. My brother Tim was a lifeguard at Disney World, been in an accident, was a quadriplegic, drove in, hit his head on a thing, and I got called. I went home, and that changed our lives forever. During that process of his injury and his problems, I got embroiled in the whole legal process. We were very poor people. Our mother had already left. Our dad kind of had a drinking problem. I was the oldest, so I was kind of the quarterback of it all. So I got very engaged in his injury.
How old were you at that time?
Sophomore in college, 19.
So you're 19 years old. You're not thinking about being a lawyer.
I'm thinking about being a lawyer because I suck in science and math. So,
okay.
That was out. Doctor was out. CPA was out. Scientist was out. Astronaut was out. So I was thinking about being a lawyer, but I didn't know what personal injury was.
Who were you in high school? Like, if 10th
Winter
grade,
Park High.
Well, who were you in high school?
I was in high school?
Were you the athlete? Were you the debate guy?
I was the treasurer of I did magic at Walt Disney World in high school. I was that guy. I was like Steve Martin.
Got it.
Yeah, I was a magician at Walt Disney World.
Entertaining, personality.
Yes. I was very popular in high school.
Okay.
I was at the cool table.
Makes sense.
And
so this event happens to your brother.
Happens to my brother.
He becomes a paraplegic because of the accident. Quadriplegic.
And then it all begins. The process.
Got it.
And Disney was so rough on him and so tough on him, and so I got in that process. And the thing about that process, when you're on the other side of it, and you're poor, and you're helpless, and you're hopeless, and you're powerless, you can't imagine the frustration. And I became enraged. And as it all went down, I said to myself, I was going to be a lawyer, but now I know what I want to do. So when I went to law school, I knew what I was going to do. I knew I was going to come back and take care of the people like my brother Tim against the corporations like Disney and those type of people. So that's how it all started. That's how I got into personal injury, was my own brother's personal injury. And look, it all worked out for him. I mean, he became a super quad, so he was able to drive a car. He passed away a year and a half ago, unfortunately.
Sorry to hear.
When I met with the doctor, when he was being discharged, the doctor said he will not live to 30. And I said, you are effing wrong. I got up, I walked out. He lived till 65.
Wow.
But he also came and worked inside my business with me. So every day in my business life, my brother Tim, we ended the day talking about the day. And so it's his injury is the most devastating thing that ever happened to me because, I was trying to manage the medical, trying to manage the lawsuit. But later in life, he came to work with me, and him and his dog would come up every day to say goodbye, and it was a wonderful thing.
That's cool. And do you notice that as a pattern? You made it at the highest level business-wise. You're successful. You're a billionaire. You've done very well for yourself. And you have friends who are at that same level, who have made your kind of success. Do you notice a pattern with a dramatic, like especially not for millionaires, not for decamillionaires or hecto, but mainly billionaires? Do you notice a pattern with extreme amount of pain at a young age? What do you notice with specific the top 0.0001% of America, which is only 1,200, 1,300 billionaires in America? What do you notice a pattern with them?
Well, here's the pattern for people my age. I've got a new book I'm writing called Life is Luck, the Paper Boy. One pattern I understand is this, especially my age. I'll meet people my age and I'll say, were you a paper boy? And they'll say, yeah, why? I can tell. There's a genetic seed that goes in to the paper boy because the paper has to be delivered every day in the snow, in the sleet, in the cold. You have to get up and do it. Warren Buffett was a paper boy. Oprah Winfrey was a paper girl.
Wow.
Walt Disney was a paper boy. Have your viewers Google famous paper boys. So I think the one pattern is there's a genetic entrepreneurial seed. You have it. I could tell as soon as I walked in, I'm like, this guy, I don't know if you had papers, but I guarantee you something when you were 11, 12, 13, you were hustling something. I don't know what. Today, everybody's on YouTube and coding and all that. That's the new paper route. So that's the one thing. And then the next thing is what I wrote a book about called You Can't Teach Hungry. There is something inside of you when you're poor that I talked about, that helplessness, that powerlessness, that hopelessness that makes you hungry. And it can't be taught. You can't, like your guy that I met coming in, the comedian, you can't teach funny. There's certain things that cannot be taught. And that's the pattern I want. Usually there's an entrepreneurial bent. Mark Cuban, we're pen pals. We talk all the time. He was selling like trash bags door to door. His brother was a paper boy. And so those are the things that I notice most.
Hey, Rob, can you pull up the list you just pulled up, which was very interesting, guy? Benjamin Franklin, paperboy. Thomas Edison, paperboy. Eisenhower, Truman, MLK, Saranov, Joe DiMaggio was a paperboy. Walt Disney was a paperboy. Buffett, paperboy. Tom Cruise, Bob Hope, John Wayne. Who else you got there on the bottom? David Simmons. Very interesting on the paperboy.
It's unbelievable. How old are you?
I'm 47.
Okay, so you might be too young to have been a paper boy. I don't know. But I don't know what you did at 11, 12. Tell me.
In Germany, I used to go to the local swimming pool, refugee camp we lived in Erlangen. And the owner of that pool, guys would drink a lot of beer. And I was the one that would go there first thing in the morning, and I would collect all the beers at this. If you type in Erlangen massive swimming pool and you go to images, you'll see it. I saw it the other day. I may be visiting Germany to go see this place. But I was always out there hustling, selling hats, selling baseball cards, collecting beer bottles in Erlangen to buy a Super Mario Brothers at Kaufhof. But there was a hustle in there, always.
Listen, you're born with the hustle.
Yeah.
You're born with that hustle. And it's not necessarily, like Warren Buffett's dad was a congressman and a stockbroker. And so it's not necessarily, but there's that hustle that you can't teach. You're born with that hustle.
The FLB shoes. By the way, I am officially on, let me see this. I'm on day 57 out of 58 that I've worn these shoes. Love wearing these shoes every single day. I think Vinny's got it on. The other night we went to dinner. Vinny was wearing this black pants, white shirt with the FLB shoes. We walk into the restaurant, 7 girls lined up waiting to meet with Vinny.
One girl was crying. She was crying. She was shaking.
She was crying. She was shaking.
The shoes. I was like, I can't.
Are you Ringo Starr?
So for those of you guys that are asking about getting the shoes before Christmas for your husband or your sons or your friend, this is what you want to be thinking about. Size black and brown. Size black and brown. Let me see this thing here from Langhorne. So let's go to the partners or what's available. So size black and brown, if you want to get them, size 9, 10, and 11 are available to get before Christmas. White, all sizes are available except for 7, 7.5, and 8.5. Navy, 8, 9, 9.5, 10, and 11 are available before Christmas. Of course, after Christmas, shipment is coming. That'll be here New Year's. These things, we can't even keep these on the shelves, to be honest with you, with the shoes. Once you put them on, just go read the reviews with people writing reviews when they bought them. Once you put them on, you'll realize why this has become as hot of an item for us as we expected it. Took us 2 years to do this, Rob. If you want to play the clip on that, we'll get into the stories. Here's the FLB shoes. Go for it. When we set out to create a shoe that blends comfort, function, and luxury, we had the choice to make it fast. We had the choice to make it cheap. We chose neither. Instead, we chose Tuscany, Italy. We chose true Italian craftsmanship, each pair touched by 50 skilled hands. We chose patience, spending 2 years perfecting every detail, and we chose the finest quality at every step. Introducing the Future Looks Bright collection. Not rushed, not disposable, not ordinary. Rather, intentional, luxurious, timeless. I love it. Designed in Florida, 100% made in Italy. Folks, if you haven't yet ordered one, we had 2 guys yesterday that ordered 4 of all colors. And one of them was from UK. The other one was from Belgium or something like that, ordering these shoes. If you want to find out how it matches against everybody else, go to vtmerch.com. On the homepage, you'll see the shoes. Click on the link to go learn more about the shoes and place an order for your husband, for your spouse, for your son, for somebody maybe that works for your company as a recognition. And go to vtmerch.com to place your order.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.